What happened when you heard I was born?
My sergeant come down the hall. Savelle, where are you? I said, I'm in here, in my room. Said, you're needed at headquarters. So I was sitting there in my underwear, t-shirt, polished and spit sign in my boots. I got up and he said, get dressed. So I put on my fatigues and my t-shirt I already had on, and I took off. He said, you can't go to the headquarters like that, get fully dressed. He made me put on everything, belt buckle, shoes, boots, everything. Then I went to headquarters. He said, you've got a daughter. Who's I talking to? Your dad or my dad? I think it was my dad. And said, you got a little 8-pound, 8-ounce daughter?
I was 8-0.
8 pounds.
0.
8 pounds. And they were supposed to let me come home to see you, but then my sergeant said, if you go home, you're going to have to start all over. 8 weeks again. He said, I can't do that. I would have been in a group with a bunch of guys I didn't even know. I was there with guys I'd learned to know, you know? So I said, no, I can't do that. So it wasn't until I was in AIT for the next 8 weeks that I maxed the mortar exam. And I was down in the kitchen on KP duty, peeling potatoes. My sergeant came in and said, you're wanted at headquarters. So I got dressed and went to headquarters. And the general said, son, do you know what you've done? I said, no, I don't. He said, you maxed the mortar exam, both the test and the field. He said, nobody's done that since World War II. And we're going to do a parade in your honor and give you a 3-day pass. So they did a parade in my honor. He gave me a watch as a commemorative for it. He said, you're allowed to go, I think 150-mile radius of the base, which meant I could go to New York City or Philadelphia. I flew 1,500 miles. I didn't even tell her I was coming. And had to take a taxi to Philadelphia, got on a flight, flew to Shreveport, took a taxi home, in the door. That's when she first saw me.
Hi, Dad.
When I went in to see you, you saw me and you just started crying. And then Grandpa came over when he heard I was there, and he looked down at you and smiling. And anyway, you were 3.5 months old before I ever saw you.
But what happened when you went back to
Oh, I had to get back.
I'm not sure.
And I couldn't get a flight. I had to be back by 10 o'clock Sunday night. I left Friday. And I couldn't get a flight. And then finally, Barksdale Air Force Base had a flight going to McGuire Air Force Base. And I could fly on it free.
All the unknowns.
Yeah, and I didn't remember. That was the first time I'd ever flown was when they took me to Fort Dix. This is the second time I've ever flown. So I don't know the ropes, you know. So I got on the flight at Barksdale on like a troop plane. You know, you're just sitting there in a seat like this. You know? We landed at McGuire, and then I had to get on a bus and go to Philadelphia. And then from Philadelphia, a taxi to Fort Dix. And I was supposed to be there at 10 o'clock or I'd be AWL. I got there at 11 o'clock.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I walked in. It so happened my sergeant was on duty that night. When I walked in, he said, Savelle, you're AWL. I said, I know it. He said, well, is she pretty? I said, she's beautiful. He said, I know the feeling, going to bed. I had 8 kids born when I was on duty. Go to bed.
I make him tell that every year.
Pictures of her in his locker. When they have to inspect the lockers.
Yeah.
So he saw her baby pictures.
I had
all
pictures of
taken
her
in
and
the
her
locker.
on my
So
locker.
that's why he said, is she
And when the
beautiful?
sergeant come by to do inspection, he would see,
Baby
you couldn't do
pictures.
that in basic, but in AIT, you could put pictures up.